Okay, so you're thinking about opening up an Etsy shop, or maybe you already have, and you're starting to wonder about the legal side of things.
Making sure that all your ducks are in a row.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Yeah,
do I need to form an LLC? Is that a thing?
right.
We get that question all the time from Etsy sellers, and it's smart to think about.
Absolutely.
So today, we are going to deep dive into that very question.
Yeah, should you create an LLC for your SE business? We're going to look at it from all angles.
Exactly. And while we are not lawyers or giving legal advice, we can certainly lay out the groundwork, help you wrap your head around the basics, and then
Yeah,
help you make some informed decisions.
absolutely. Okay, so first things first, for anyone who's like LLC, what is that?
Right.
Break it down for us. What are we even talking about?
LLC stands for Limited Liability Company.
Okay.
And basically what it does is it creates a legal separation between you as an individual and your business.
Okay.
So you
Yeah.
can kind of think of it as a shield for your personal assets.
So that's things like your house, your car, your personal bank account separate from your business debts or any lawsuits that could come up.
So like if I'm selling, handmade candles on Etsy,
Right.
and somebody's like, oh, I had a reaction to this candle, I'm
Yeah.
going to sue you.
Yeah.
In that case, an LLC would actually protect me. How's this?
Right. So in that case, if you didn't have an LLC, your personal assets would be vulnerable.
Okay.
But with an LLC, the lawsuit is generally going to be directed at the business entity, not at you as a person.
Got it.
So it basically limits your liability, hence limited liability company.
It's all in the name.
It's all in the name. Exactly.
Okay, so that makes sense. But, Etsy doesn't require you to have an LLC, right?
Yeah.
So what would make an Etsy seller think, maybe I should look into this?
Yeah, I think it really boils down to your own personal risk tolerance and also your long-term goals for your business.
Okay.
Imagine like if you were selling something that had maybe a higher risk associated with it,
Yeah.
maybe handmade cosmetics or jewelry with small parts. An LLC could give you a lot more peace of mind.
Yeah, and I think also it just makes your business look a little more legit too.
Yeah.
Right? Like if I see a shop that's called,
Right.
Sparkling Creations LLC versus just Sarah's Crafts, I'm like,
Look,
oh, okay.
Exactly. It gives you a sense of professionalism and credibility.
Yes.
And that can be really important, especially as you're growing.
Totally. Okay, so we talked about liability. What about the tax implications? Are there advantages there?
Yeah, so forming an LLC can give you some different options for how your business is taxed.
Okay.
So, for example, one option is something called pass-through taxation, which means that the profits and losses from your business get reported on your personal income tax return.
Okay.
And that can actually lead to some lower tax rates overall.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we've talked about some of the pros of, creating an LLC, but then I was reading some of the stuff that we're going to talk about for this deep dive, and I saw some places are offering like free LLC formation.
Yeah.
Which kind of sounds too good to be true. How does that work? And what's the catch?
Yeah, so there are some services out there, like Inc. Authority, for example, that do offer free LLC formation,
Okay.
which can be really great, especially for, entrepreneurs who are just starting out and maybe don't have a huge budget to work with.
Yeah.
And oftentimes they even include other perks, like a free registered agent service.
What's a registered agent?
Yeah, so a registered agent is basically someone who's legally required to be available during business hours
Okay.
to accept legal documents and other important mail for your business.
Gotcha.
So it's something that every business needs,
Okay.
but it's important to, read the fine print because sometimes these services, might have hidden fees or try to upsell you to different packages.
So kind of like a free trial.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So we've talked about kind of situations where it makes sense to maybe form an LLC. Are there ever times when you think an LLC maybe is not the right move?
Yeah, I think for some very small businesses who are just starting out, maybe the added paperwork and the potential state filing fees might not be worth it for them at that point.
Yeah.
So it really depends, on your individual circumstances.
Okay. So if you're kind of selling, low risk items and you're just testing the waters, maybe hold off, reinvest those LLC costs back into your business.
Exactly.
But if you're ready to scale up, you're like, this is my jam. This is what I'm doing. Maybe think about it.
Yeah, I think the bottom line is it's always best to talk to a legal or tax professional who can help you assess your own personal situation.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about LLCs, but let's kind of zoom out for a sec and think bigger picture.
Right.
This is just one piece of the puzzle.
Exactly. Forming an LLC is important. It's
Yeah.
part of building a solid foundation for your business.
Yeah.
But it's only one piece of the puzzle.
Okay.
So Think of it this way, like building a successful Etsy shop is kind of like building a house.
Yeah.
Having that strong legal structure that's like laying the foundation,
Mm-hmm.
but you still need to think about all the other aspects, like the design and the functionality and all the things that make it unique and appealing.
Love that analogy.
Yeah.
So what are some practical steps that Etsy sellers can take, whether or not they choose to form an LLC to make their shop successful?
Yeah, I think, the key thing is to really focus on what value you're bringing to your customers,
Mm-hmm.
and how you can really connect with your target audience on a deeper level.
Okay.
And then thinking about what strategies you can implement to help you stand out in a really crowded marketplace.
Yeah, because there's a lot of shops on Etsy.
There are a lot of shops.
It's all about differentiating yourself.
Exactly.
Awesome. So you're weighing this LLC decision. Think
Mhm.
about like your top 3 action steps for this week.
Right.
Whether that's actually doing some research on how to form an LLC or talking to a professional or brainstorming some branding ideas.
Yeah.
Put it on your to-do list, your future Etsy self.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Amazing. Okay, so I think that about wraps it up for our LLC deep dive today.
I think so.
Thanks for joining me.
It was a pleasure.
Really appreciate your insights. We hope
Mhm.
you all learned some stuff about LLCs and can make an informed decision that is right for your business.
Absolutely.
Until next time, happy crafting.
Happy crafting, everyone.